Okay, so I thought I'd show you how to use the tyre generator app as best as I know how to use it anyway. I'm not an expert, I'm not a tyre expert, but if you can't find what you want in the tyre selections here, and you can kind of fiddle with the yellow ones, to generate new, I played around with this for a long time. This is the best way I know to do it, and if there's a better way, there's a better way. But okay, so what I've done before I've gone to that screen is I've hovered over here. I've taken a picture of that, just showing me diameter and profile and all that sort of stuff. I'll click over here, I'll go and find my car. Okay. And I'll pick, even though they're not what I'm making, I'll pick the better tyre set that's on here. Okay, yeah, it can be a bit painful. I haven't got total control of it at all times. There's something I'm missing as to part of the controls, but I can find it here, so here we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was already open. Sorry, I'm going blind. I'm old in my, needing these glasses in my old age. So now I want to get some, what do I think I want for this one? I want some slick mediums. So I can go to a number of these. I can go and try some fancy tyres. I can go do some Trofios, or I can find some some P1s, or some, you know, anything from anywhere. For example, go and see what the Senna's got on it. You know, I mean, its version of slick mediums would be pretty good, you'd reckon, wouldn't it? Hypercar Trofios, I could go either way there. But what we'll do for argument's sake is, what's this for? It's for the Bugatti. I'm going to go get the Hypercar Trofios from here and put those in. And you'll see the number of tyres I've selected from over here. When I select that box there, will become 4. Now what I do is I check my photo that I've taken. So this number here needs to, the bottom number needs to be below 245 or 24.5, so that I can at least, anyway, you'll see in a sec. Okay, so that ultimately that number needs to be below that. And the rim radius 30.9 is above this minimum one here as well. Now you can manipulate this by padding, and that'll make those numbers easier for you. Now it's setting it at 15 here, and I can't remember why, whether I've set it at 15 or, but you know, I'm sure it started off at about the 20% mark in the first place. But I mean, it appears that in this case I could probably go down to 4%, but I think that produces a bad tyre. I think there's a minimum amount of padding that, but I'm not even sure on that. I haven't tested that yet. Maybe I should. So anyway, I'm going to put it at about 18%. Now these settings over here were partially remembered and partially from a video I saw, and the remembering was from the video I saw, so maybe something here is wrong, but this is working for me. So you can have a look at these. Learning momentum at 10%. I don't know what the reason was for that. The learning rate is at 100%. Yeah. You change, this one isn't on that, you need to change that. I should save this preset. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, so that fits within the parameters of the wheel size we ultimately want in the end. Now, if you pick Hypercar Trofios that are, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, Trofeo, that's a 395 on the front and a 450 on the back, you know, playing around with this padding thing is what you're going to have to do to get your sizes right and everything. But that's why you go and pick a tyre size that's as close as you can. That's why the list will be there, to go and pick something closer to your original size. In this case it works out reasonably well. What have I got? 245s going up to, so even that's not working too badly. 245s going up to 315s and 325s. 325s on the back of those. So anyway, we'll spin those tyres out. Now this is the bit where it gets a bit sneaky if you're on the RSR leaderboards, which doesn't seem to be checking the original model of the car very well to verify it before letting you on. And that is, you can name these tyres whatever you want. So you can actually make Hypercar Trofios and name them vintage street tyres if you want to, and go and cheat on those leaderboards. The tracks and car combinations where you're allowed to use slicks already sort of rule that out, but you'd be able to go and make ultra slicks and name them slicks, soft slicks or medium slicks, in order to trick people. And you can, that goes for the same for here and here. You can name that whatever you want. I don't have to select from this drop down list, which I will do in this case. I will select from the drop down list. Just letting it make those tyres. But yeah, you can name them what you like over there and go and race them. And there's one guy there that seems to have, Jacob whatever, who seems to have swept through the field a couple of years ago and done it. Now, I've only been looking at this bit by bit as I've been going, but what I've noticed is you've got what seems to be an ideal profile line down here, that if you can fulfill that is the ideal spot. In this case it's landed straight on there. My line is slightly off in that white dot's off to the side here for the radius of the tyre. Now 7.02 is ideal. I've got 7.03, so I'll change that to 0.02. Doesn't change too much here. I'll bring that across. In the past, I mean, I'll be honest with you, in the past, if that's sitting there as a question mark, I'll just leave it and it'll spin out the right one anyway. But I also know the measurements I need. So, or the previous tyres, so at 30.9 on the previous one, I can emulate that if I want to, if I'm not happy with just leaving it as a question mark, and you can play around with it either way and see what you think yourself. But as I see it there, we got a little bit closer to where we'd like to be by emulating the original, and 24.5 would ideally be what I'm after too. Oops. And not only is that number down here to play with, but it's up here if your eyes are good enough. I don't think you have to get, you know, like on the dot. Where is it? There we go. 2.45 349. There we go. 24.54. Who cares? That's close enough for me. Now I reckon that's going to be pretty much spot on or ideal. I might be able to modify the radius here to make that a little bit better. What was my previous radius? Well, previous radius was 6.8, you see, so that's probably why that's off there. And if I go 6.8 on here, to show you for example, it'll have me above better than the green line. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know if that's better than the result of the green line, or if it immediately means that I'm off the pace, you know what I mean? So I'm happy to follow the green line as a recommendation. And you can also try that either way, obviously, so save that. Bugatti Hypercar Trofios. When I close those, I can go back here, and there they are in the selection for me to put over here. Obviously, if you've made tyres for cars before, and I've done this where I've used the one set for almost everything, previous installation. I mean, this Hypercar Trofios for Tirana could be tried, and I've got these Slick Ultra Softs that I cross with a Potenza. I don't know what crossing tyres does really, if I'm honest, and I'll play with that a bit more too, but if you want to create tyres that work and will go on your car and all that sort of stuff, you follow that procedure, well, that'll get you there. When you're on that previous graph that we were on, you can fiddle with those. You can go to the different settings for those and look at rolling resistance and everything, and they should all be fitting onto that green line as well. Anyway, I hope that helps some of you out there that are a bit puzzled as to how to generate tyres for the game, because I haven't seen too much in the way of a video out there. So if you do get some benefit out of this one, you don't do a bit of a likey and subscribe, you suck. I'm not monetizing anyway, guys, so it's just a show of appreciation and makes me sort of keep bothering to want to help anybody. But yeah, say g'day. I reckon from what I've seen out there, I reckon this should help a few people. Yeah. Ciao, ciao.